Okay, on this video, I really want to show you guys just how much you are missing when you strip away HDR, when you strip away the higher bit rate, when you strip away that 2K intermediate resolution upscale to 4K, when you strip away all of that, and all you are left is a lousy 1080p with a mediocre bit rate. Blu-ray technology, it's an old technology, man. It's showing its age. 1080p, it's old. It's been a long time since 1080p, okay? So I'm doing this video for those of you who are undecided whether or not you should upscale, whether or not you should move from your 1080p television to 4K HDR television and purchase yourself a 4K UHD Blu-ray player. Okay, for a moment there I almost said upscaled, but that's what this video is going to be about. It will be recorded in 84K. I'm going to use this example here in the movie to show you the difference and what you're missing with the Blu-ray. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Blu-ray disc in. That's because the 4K UHD Blu-ray version comes, every 4K movie UHD Blu-ray comes with the Blu-ray disc as well. So you get the Blu-ray as well. Okay, so it's a good deal. So in about 4 seconds, I'm going to switch to a Blu-ray version, and I want you guys to pay attention to a couple of things. I want you to pay attention to the background, how it's vivid, the sky, the light, all of that stuff is being presented in a more depth of dynamic. You know, it's like, it has like a nice three-dimensional dynamic natural depth of look to it. It's almost like three-dimensional, like you can see in the distance. That's what high dynamic range does. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch to just a regular peasant Blu-ray version with the same exact scene, chapter 15, Titan confrontation. I'm going to pause it here, exactly the same. Okay, it's going to be all exactly the same. Hell, as you can see, it's all exactly in a chapter 15, 146.06. So it's all there. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back to a Blu-ray version in about 4 seconds. Actually, I'm going to snap my fingers and we're going to do this. The Thanos is going to snap the fingers and we're going to transform into a Blu-ray Infinity Stone. So here we go. On a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the Blu-ray version. Here's the Blu-ray version. The bit rate, it's lower. Lousy 1080p. You have no HDR, stripped away. And look, you guys tell me, what is it that you are noticing? What's the difference? Well, the difference is because we don't have HDR, our white bright levels are all over the place. It doesn't have, the deep dark levels are not that good. They're all over the place. It looks kind of wishy-washy. Okay, sure, you can still see the movie, but in the distance, you don't see the detail in the distance like you did with the 4K UHD Blu-ray version. With a 4K UHD Blu-ray version, that HDR, it will just make it look better. All right, so let me switch to a 4K UHD Blu-ray version, okay? And then we're going to go ahead to the same chapter, chapter 15, Titan confrontation, 146.06. It says right over here, right there, I'm going to snap my fingers, and we're going to go back to the 4K UHD Blu-ray Infinity Stone version. Here we go. You guys ready? All right, let's go back to 4K UHD Blu-ray version in the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what do we see? What do we see here? We see more in the distance. The deep dark levels are much better. We have more depth of visual fidelity. Hold on. We have more depth of visual fidelity. Let me pause this. Hold on a second. I just hit the pause, and so let me just go ahead and I snapped my fingers, and this is what happens when you snap your fingers. Okay, so we have more depth of fidelity in terms of picture quality. What I mean by depth of fidelity, I mean there's more natural three-dimensional look to it, and it looks better. Okay, maybe we can go to another scene where there's more like Wakanda, where there's more light and green vegetation, where there's more vibrant HDR happening. Maybe we can do a comparison there too. So let's go ahead and let's switch to a different scene. Okay, but please keep in mind, it's hard for you to judge this through a camera. You got to see this in person. For example, this scene right here we are. This is when, I'm not going to tell you where. This is like in Avatar, James Cameron Avatar. He went to Pandora. He snapped his fingers, and Thanos, by mistake, went to Navi planet. He went to Pandora. Okay, so he's in Pandora. Okay, spoilers warning. And look at the HDR here. Look at the vegetation in the background, the sunlight overshadowing his forehead. This is what HDR does. The detail, the scratches on his armor, all of this stuff is presented more better in 4K HDR. Why that is? Well, isn't it obvious by now? I mean, do I talk to a wall? I mean, shouldn't this be obvious by now? 2 + 2 = 4? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's 22 for some of you. Higher resolution means higher detail. Higher bitrate means better detail. High dynamic range means much better fidelity in the picture quality. When you add a really good 4K HDR TV, it's going to look better than your peasant Blu-ray 1080p. But if you love your 1080p so much, the 4K version still gets included with a Blu-ray version and digital copy, so you can take it with you. So how is it not worth it? Please explain the logic to me. I'm listening. All right, so let's switch to a peasant Blu-ray version. Let's just see how badly this looks. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move and snap my fingers in 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here we are, Blu-ray version. The same 2 hours and 5 minutes and 11 seconds, the same thing. Now, what do you notice? Well, if you look in the background, that the HDR right here, it's not as good. Well, because there's no HDR, so you don't. Oh my God. So when you look at it, if you never experienced, here's the thing, if you never experienced high dynamic range, for you, this will be acceptable. For you, this will be normal because your eyes are used to watching a movie like this, okay? But if you have experienced HDR, if you have experienced a higher resolution, then you will know the difference. So yeah, for me, it's difficult to go back to a Blu-ray. Can I watch a Blu-ray 1080p? Of course, I can watch anything. I can watch VHS, okay? But the point is, there's better alternatives out there, and the better alternatives is the 4K UHD Blu-ray. So I don't even know why we're having this discussion. Everyone knows that 4K UHD Blu-ray is a better format. All of the above. Okay, so let's switch back to a 4K UHD Blu-ray HDR version in about 4 seconds. Let me snap my fingers. Here we go. Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And look at the difference, man. Like night and day. Night and day. Night and day. Everything looks better. The HDR in the background, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. It's a better experience. And look, even here, I'm going to end the video like this. Look at what HDR is doing here. Overshadowing the Thanos face. I mean, it speaks for itself. It's just better. But you got to have a good HDR television, okay? You cannot buy a low-end HDR television and expect this movie to magically look great. Well, there you have it. It was recorded in 4K. Thank you guys for watching this. Later.